to the Jankyard. I'm JT, and it's time for another deck tech. I'm excited to show you this deck today. But first, just want to remind you to please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jankyard MTG. Also, check us out on social media at Jankyard MTG, and check us in our regular streams, Wednesdays and Sundays, plus other bonus days, and that's at twitch.tv/JankyardMTG. So, what we want to do today is we're looking at a deck that I call I Burnt My Ponza. It's a weird name, but there's an explanation. So apparently the first player who did a land destruction deck was a fan of a dish called the Ponza, which is similar to a calzone or a panzerotti that is at a pizza place in Wisconsin. So we called the deck Ponza. It's gotten shortened to Ponza over time. So if you ever hear somebody talk about a Ponza deck, especially in Modern, they're talking about land destruction. Now, there's not a lot of good land destruction cards in Standard right now. So we've had to combine land destruction and burn. Burn just using cards to do damage directly to your opponent's face or their creatures. And thus, I burnt my Ponza. So we're going to take a look. It's got a few creatures, or a little bit in creatures. Okay, it's got two creatures, not a lot. It's mainly focused on spells to do direct damage to your opponent and destroy their lands. If you can get rid of a couple of their lands and put them on the back foot so they can't cast their bigger stuff, that's strong, and that's why you've got these land destruction cards in the deck. So let's take a look at what we're playing with. We're going to start with good old Shock. Nothing like 2 damage to any target for 1 red mana. It is fantastic. Chandra's Pyrohelix. Now this is a more versatile Shock. Yeah, okay, it costs 1 more mana, and that's, that makes it much more expensive. But sometimes with Shock you're using that 2 to destroy something with 1 toughness. Whereas with Chandra's Pyrohelix, you can use this to do 1 damage to that creature that only has 1 toughness and kill it, and do 1 damage to the controller. Or 1 damage to another creature that also has 1 toughness. So it has some of that extra versatility, and you pay for that versatility, but it's worthwhile. Bone Crusher Giant, for 1 and a red, it's got Stomp. Damage can't be prevented this turn and deals 2 damage to any target. And then you can play it out for 3 mana. You got a 4/3. That when it becomes the target of a spell, it deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. That's a pretty versatile creature to have. So I like having the Bone Crusher Giant. And then if you're doing damage to your opponent's face, you can light up the stage. Normally it's 2 and a red, but if you've done that damage to your opponent's face, you can pay the spectacle cost, 1 red, exile top 2 cards of the library, and until the end of your next turn you can play those. So it's just a bit of card advantage. That's solid. Speaking of card advantage, risk factor. You play this, and your opponent doesn't want you to have those 3 cards drawn into your hand, then they'll take 4 damage. That's fine. Or if they can't risk it, they're like, okay, you can have 3 cards, and you've just filled your hand back up a bit, and you've got more gas. It's super strong. Plus, this thing is jumpstart. So if you've got maybe you don't need a lot of lands to run this deck, so you got some extra lands. Hold on to one of those, discard it, and then you can just do risk factor again. It's a solid card, and it's a good 3 of. We got 4 Skewer the Critics. Again, 3 mana for 3 damage. Meh. But if you've already done damage to your opponent, then you just cost you 1 red mana, and you can do 3 damage to any target. That's excellent. Now we get into the land destruction package. Land destruction's all currently in Standard, it's all at 4 mana, 3 and a red, but they each do something a little different. So let's start with Demolish. Demolish can destroy a target land or artifact. So that's kind of useful if you want to take out an artifact, because there's some good artifacts right now in Standard you might need to chip away. So sometimes you just want to get rid of that land, but sometimes it might be worthwhile to take out an artifact instead. Rubble Reading, you can only destroy a target land, but you can scry too as well. And so that's handy in the latter point of a game. If you need to find gas, the Scry 2 can help you there. And then Tectonic Rift. You destroy target land, and then creatures without flying can't block this turn. So if you've got the Bone Crusher Giant out, or Torbrand, and you want to go attacking, you play this. If they don't have any flyers, or don't have any flyers that are going to be strong blockers, and they've got a couple good cards, oh, they can't block now, and you can get in with that Bone Crusher Giant, which, if you've got Bone Crusher Giant and Torbrand, Bone Crusher Giant's going to do 6 damage. That's pretty valuable. Speaking of Torbrand, we have him here because he just means the red cards, and which is all this deck is, it's mono red, they're just going to be so much more powerful. Yeah, he costs 4 mana, which in a mono red deck, you're not worried about the 3 pips. That's fine. But if a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. So Bone Crusher Giant swings in for 6 instead of 4. Shock does 4 damage instead of 2. Skewer does 5 damage instead of 3. This is just an incredibly strong card to have. It's a 3-of because it's legendary, but I really do like Torbrand. It's just a solid card to help push through more damage. And then we run 22 Mountains. Not running anything else at this point. To me, it's solid. That's what we need for the mana base. Now let's take a look at the sideboard. The sideboard is, if you realize, okay, you're falling behind and you could really, your burn is just not enough and you need some creature help. That's the biggest thing we have here is creatures. So we have Grim Initiate, so we can just get a 1/1 out, and it has first strike. And if it dies, hey, it leaves behind a 1/1 zombie army. Burning Prophet, because we've got a lot of non-creature spells in the main deck, we can play it out. It gets +1/+0 until end of turn whenever you cast a non-creature spell, plus you get to scry 1. That's pretty cool. Dreadhorde Arcanist. I like this card. It's solid. Whenever it attacks, you may cast instant or target instant or sorcery speed with converted mana cost less than or equal to its power from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. Yeah, I mean, you've got Shock, but if you can find a way to boost up Dreadhorde Arcanist's power, you can access other things, but still, even if it could just get you a Shock from the yard, that's pretty strong. Electrostatic Field. If you feel you need to hunker down a little more, you play this. And then also, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, of which you have a lot, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's pretty handy. The Ember Hauler, we just put in here. It's a creature. It's a nice body. The double red is not an issue for casting it. And then for paying, you pay 1 and you sack it, and you can do 2 damage to any target. It might be a nice way to take out a troublesome creature. The Embereth Shieldbreaker. Just if you need something else extra to destroy artifacts more than Demolish, then especially if they're playing a lot of artifacts, maybe bring this in. Runaway Steamkin. It's just a 1-of. We just figured put the 1 in, but it's because you're playing a mono red deck, it will build up pretty quick, and then you can always remove the 3+1/+1 counters to get 3 red. And Direct Current. Another Jumpstart card. It's 3 mana to do 2 damage to any target. Yeah, I mean, not remotely as good as Shock, but you can Jumpstart it to cast it again. So still, all in all, a solid card if you just need extra burn. And that, folks, is I Burnt My Ponza. Good old land destruction. Land destruction and burn, combining 2 fun things people like to do to other Magic players to ensure those other Magic players don't have fun. And that's the name of the game. No, I'm kidding. But no, it is fun to destroy somebody's land because players get plans going and they think, okay, I have this much land, I can do this and this, and all of a sudden, boom, you blow up a land. Especially when, say, it's their only source of maybe their splash color. That's pretty valuable. So, great card to think about, or great deck to think about if you want to play to try to disrupt your opponent's plans and cause a little havoc. Is it the strongest deck? No, it doesn't play a lot of creatures. You might have to move some of those creatures in because you might get a little overwhelmed. But still, solid, fun deck to play. And it's pretty janky, and that's the way we like it. So just a reminder, if you enjoy this deck tech, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the bell as a reminder next time we put out a video. Also, check out our streams. We stream Sundays and Wednesdays and also additional weeks depending on schedule, and that's at twitch.tv/JankyardMTG, and you can always find out other times when we're going to be streaming or what time we're going to start through our social media, and that's at JankyardMTG, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, check our website out, jankyardmtg.com. It's got details on decks, got details on our Patreon program that will be starting soon, so you can get access to other opportunities to be part of the community and maybe some swag. And also, we're looking to start our podcast soon. So all this is going on, and I thank you for joining and being a part of the Jankyard and checking out our I Burnt My Ponza burn and land destruction deck. We'll have another deck tech coming up real soon, so you take care. We'll see you then.